Totes Recall.
Welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we barely or don't remember. Push pause on that recording. Eat 2 pizzas, 2 salads. Thank you, patrons. Come back. Second half of the show. Oh, we also watched the movie while we're eating pizzas and salads. That's crucial. It's crucial to the form. Second half of the show, we're talking again. Now we know more about the movie because we watched it.
This is Orson Welles' champagne commercial outtakes level of intro. That was amazing. Like, you even had the I forgot I'm being recorded moment.
Lyndon, he hasn't even finished it yet.
Oh, sorry.
There's a fine champagne.
It's vintage dated. Paul Masson. Google Orson Welles' champagne commercial if you haven't seen it. It's amazing.
It's very good. It's very good. So is this Intru. My name is Dan Intru. Wow.
This is Molly.
I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
And our movie this very special episode is...
What's special about it?
The level of professionalism I brought to the intro.
Very special. True.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Oh.
Yay.
Whoa.
The biggest, fattest Greek wedding you'll ever see in cinemas.
Unless 2 and 3 are bigger
Or fatter.
or fatter.
We wouldn't know. I've only seen the first one.
Me too.
Has everyone seen this one?
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, boy.
Beth?
I've definitely seen it.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Confident.
Yeah. Very confident that I've
I'm
seen
also
it.
confident that I've seen it, so...
I think I may have even seen this in theaters.
Ooh.
Wow.
That seems correct.
I mean, it was definitely...
It was a sleeper hit.
Yeah, it was definitely like, it had its moment, and boy, howdy, what a moment.
Yeah.
Was the moment like early 2000s?
Ooh,
Do you
great
think-
question.
The reason I saw this movie is because a good friend of mine in high school wanted to see this movie, so we rented it
Oh.
and watched it at my house.
Was that good friend interested in you
No.
romantically?
No.
Okay, just checking. Go ahead.
She was in a long-term monogamous relationship with my other good friend, and we were all buds.
Was your other good friend interested in you? Romantic.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe on in dark moments, in the quiet of the night. Who knows? I wasn't there. I don't know their internal life.
Fair.
Anyway, that was in high school, which would
wow.
suggest to me that this came out in the late 90s or early 2000s, but like right on the cusp. Millennium, I'm saying.
The Millennium.
The Millennium.
This feels like a post-Matrix world. So I'm
You're
going to
saying
say
2000s?
2000.
I'm going to go late 90s
Nice.
just for fun. I'll say 98.
I'm going to say 2002.
I will also
Just
say
to
no.
be spicy.
I will say 2001 to complete
Space
the
Odyssey.
Sure, let's go with that. To complete the moment of my high school life that was in the 2000s.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
That was when you graduated?
No, I graduated in
Don't dox
2002,
him.
but Beth already took that. Yeah, don't dox me.
Oh. I was hoping that at your graduation they were like, congratulations, Dave. That would be funny.
Yeah.
I mean, if you graduated in the year 2001 and your administrator made a 2001 A Space Odyssey joke, please let us know.
Yeah.
612-089 something.
Put-a-do.
It's 612-208.
Damn it.
978.
Put it
What?
to.
Or just go to totesrecall.com. It's on
Wait.
there.
Yeah, go to totesrecall.com.
I'm looking at the number and I can't read it out loud. So
I
that's
usually look at the number
Why
that you're
not?
holding, and I didn't have that in my hand today, which is why I screwed it up.
612-A
089.
089
Put-a-do.
Put-a-do.
Yeah.
It's easy
The
to
last
remember.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
Okay. We've gotten to
This
our
is the
year.
level of energy that we are bringing to this episode, which is the same level of energy that this movie has, because this movie is a big, bonkers Greek family extravaganza.
Yeah. And I know it's not Mamma Mia, but
Right.
It's definitely
it
not.
kind of is.
No,
How so?
No.
It's in Greece.
it's not in Greece. It's in New Jersey. Is it New Jersey?
That seems right.
New Jersey.
And the bride is Greek, of Greek heritage.
Yes.
She has
Yes,
a
she comes
massive
right-
She has, a massive Greek origin family.
And they own a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Greek restaurant. Mm-hmm. And she meets a
Greek.
non-Greek person.
Yes.
What Corbin? John
Wait a
Corbin?
minute.
Corbin
Wait a
Dallas?
minute.
What?
Let's stop feeding
Multipass?
Dan all of these. Yes.
Lilu?
Let's stop feeding Dan all these important plot points from The Fifth Element and let him do a Union Strong 60-second pre-call where he tries to understand what this movie is actually about.
Okay. I'm
Ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What? Okay. Jesus. Maybe check your attitude before you keep going.
I'm great.
Ready? Go.
There's a Greek lady, and she falls in love with not Greek. They meet at in the office doing
Nice.
business, but they also run into each other and spill coffee everywhere. Then he's like, "I love you," and she's like, "Okay, but I have a big family," and he's like, "That's fine." But then they're really big, and they all come to the wedding, and they yell a lot and have food. There's a lot of food, and
Great.
there's rotating meats. That's Greek.
30
and
seconds.
Olives. And he's like, "Oh, this is too much, but still I love you," and it's fine in the end. There's a lot of cheek pinching as well. Someone gets their cheeks pinched. And Will.i.am's there.
10 seconds.
Because it's the Will.i.am, and he is the special guest and sings a song for everyone to enjoy. And yogurt. Greek
Time.
yogurt. It's thick.
You realize that the Willennium is referring to William Smith, not Will I Am,
Oh,
right?
I didn't know that.
Wow.
Wow.
Did I know that?
Maybe it's a celebration of all Will.i.ams. You know what I mean?
Sure. That's fair.
Oh, that was his album.
Yeah, I feel like if this had been a Union Strong 45-second challenge, you would have nailed
Crushed
it,
it.
Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mhm. I mean, always 100%
Thank you.
Utah.
I was a little
Listen,
worried about my score.
Will I Am could show up and we will all be eating crow.
Yeah.
That's true. I will say there is a member of NSYNC in this movie.
That's
Oh.
true.
Yes, there is.
That is true.
Is it not?
So-
It's not Justin. It's Lance Bass.
No.
Is he?
Justin
on?
doesn't have time for big fat Greek indie movies.
Is Lance Bass
He's
an
too
NSYNC?
busy being mean to Britney Spears
And-
during this
Yeah.
era.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That Justified album. I tell you what, if you have not read Britney Spears's book / just listen to it half-heartedly on tape, then you would know that he was not great to her
Yeah.
during
Wow.
that whole Justified period
He
of his
doesn't
life.
seem like he was nice to multiple famous women.
Mm.
Didn't he
Yeah.
oops,
I mean,
run
people
away
grow
from
up.
Janet when they got in trouble?
Oh.
Sorta, yeah.
Oh yeah,
He
Janet
kinda- he
Jackson.
left
That was
her-
around that era.
Yeah, he left her out to dry a little bit on the press
he
after
definitely
the
did.
fact. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at a picture of him because I was looking at 90s boy haircuts.
Yeah.
So I think my kid wants a 90s boy haircut. The way he's describing
Nice.
it, he wants it long in the front and parted, but then also like kind of long in the back, but not that long. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I think he wants hair
wow.
curtains. So I was trying to find
Yeah.
pictures that he would like. And
Yeah,
I
Justin's not the one you want to look at.
No. He's too
I'm gonna go
curly.
for like a JTT.
Yeah, that
Ooh,
was
yeah,
my
maybe.
initial
Yep.
internet search.
I
But
mean,
then I
I bet
saw
one.
Devin Sawa, who we've talked about before.
Oh.
Oh
Yeah.
I bet
That's a
one
good
of the
one, too.
members of NSYNC might be a good reference during that era.
Okay, I'll check it out.
I don't know.
Is that Friends might also be okay after they got through the Caesar period of time? I think
Yeah.
they had the central part.
Okay, I'll
I
check
You
it
feel
know
like
what? Or maybe somebody modern. Maybe somebody right now has that haircut. If you
Maybe.
have that haircut, please call.
and then
out. Text a
Describe-
picture of your haircut, right? You can text.
Or put it on Discord. I don't
How
know.
will the hairstyles be in Big Fat Greek Wedding? I think they're
incredible.
the hair is curly, right? Our
Some of
bride,
it.
our main Greek.
Wait,
I feel like
what,
there's a
just
whole-
generally?
I'm
There's
trying to get us back
probably
to
a
the
whole
movie.
thing about them doing her hair for the wedding.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Oh
And it's
yeah,
probably
Big
her
and
wedding
Glamorous.
get up is incredible. There's a great line where it's like, "Wipe, don't dab," or something. It's really funny.
What is that
I
referring
remember
to?
this. Just the amount of makeup she has on.
Ah,
It's so much. It's so much. It's a great.
Yeah.
It's a great moment.
I
So
have a-
y'all probably know the backstory of this movie, right?
No.
I don't know
That
the
it was done
backstory.
as a one-woman play.
I was in high school. Why would I know the background of this movie?
Well, I
Oh.
guess I this is where so we are all 35, as
Yes.
we all know. Some of us are a little bit more 35 than others, and I am in the Gen X quadrant. So I remember all the stuff about this movie. And one thing was, what is her name? Nia? What can
Nia
I think of her full
Vardalos.
name? Yes. She wrote a one-woman show called My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and it was very funny. And Rita Wilson and a
Ooh.
friend of hers happened to go to the show, and they loved it, and they helped support and set in motion it being turned into a film.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of like a Cinderella story from that perspective. But also you would need that kind of star power to get a romantic comedy that was
True.
mostly about her and her family and these two families, because he comes, of course, from a very Protestant, smaller family. And so
Yes.
the culture clash is really sweet. But it's like a very kind movie. And I think about if like a bunch of dudes had taken over the script, like how it would have not had quite the heart. But it was a sleeper. It started out in a few theaters and it was considered this independent film. And then it just got bigger and bigger.
Oh, yeah.
And I think people were just hungry for a really good romantic comedy.
I think they were also just charmed by the just like deep bench of character actors that make up her family.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Like-
know anybody who's in this.
You probably won't recognize most of them, but I have a bet for you specifically, Dan. I think you will be very charmed by her dad.
Oh,
Mhm.
yep. That sounds
He's
good.
just like a lovable but kind of cantankerous Greek old man. And he's just a joy. I mean, her mom's kind of like that too, but
I think Andrea Martin's in it.
yeah,
She plays one of the
Isn't she like one of the
aunts, maybe?
aunts? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then, Joey Fatone's definitely in it.
For sure. It's possible some of the family is now recognizable. Like it might be
Oh.
some
Yeah.
younger actors where now we're like, oh, hey, it's that person.
What about
Yeah.
Manzukis?
I don't know.
He's Greek.
Is
I
he?
don't think so.
Yeah.
Was this I cannot remember, and I'm kicking myself because I just read a story about him, but it's Corbin, right? What's his first name?
I don't know his name.
This is the character
Who?
or the actor?
The actor's name. He played the DJ in Northern Exposure and he was like oh my gosh, what was his name in Sex and the City? Oh gosh, he was like the counterpoint to Mr.
Yeah.
Big.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mr. Small.
It wasn't Ethan.
Yes,
it
he was Mr.
something.
Small. He was Mr. Small.
Yeah, Mr. Small, as famously known
Yeah.
from, but I think this helped to establish / cement him forever in the role of
Nice guy.
a super nice guy. Although in Sex and the City, he was kind of insidious in his tamping down of things that made. Why can't I think of anybody's name right now? But
Jennifer?
Sarah Jessica Parker's character,
Christy?
Carrie.
Carrie. I was close.
He really
There you go.
tampered down Carrie's personality and was kind of anyway, but the actor is married to Bo Derek,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
which I find interesting, and they live
Damn.
in like a ranch in California, and she's a Republican,
Oh.
and they didn't say what he is, so it'll be fascinating to watch.
You'll definitely know by
Just
the
as-
end of this movie.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we'll
he's
know.
like, he'll reveal it at
Yeah.
some point. He'll just like turn to the camera and
Yes.
give a little wink and be like, Reagan, right?
Is
With
the-
a big
well,
thumbs
Is
up.
the big wedding like analogy to big government? And that's why he's like small. He's like a
Yes.
small wedding guy, small
Yes.
government.
No, that's exactly right. And then like
Yeah.
right at the end, there's a little blooper where he like flubs his line when he's doing his vows, and he just says like, "Vote George W. Bush," and everyone laughs, but it's a little tense, you know. Yeah.
So, okay, I don't remember how they meet because I think at the beginning of the movie she's still single. Is that right?
Yes.
She is. It's because oh, sorry. I know the answer, but I'll hold.
She's looking to
I
mingle.
believe. Excuse me.
What did you say, Dan?
She's looking to mingle.
Oh, gotcha.
I thought you said she's like a Mengele, and I was like the biologist.
I don't know what that is. Oh, Jason?
What?
Jeff Mengele?
I
What
don't
are
know.
Are you having a
The
stroke? What
Squares
is
guy.
going on?
You know what I'm talking about. The Squares guy.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I don't know what you're.
I'm not talking to you.
With dominant and
Okay.
recessive genes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I believe this has a she's all that situation where when she first meets Handsome Man, she's like, oh, I've got glasses. Oh, my hair is a mess. And then later, she is able to guss yourself up for their second meet or something like that.
But she's got curly hair, right? I feel like
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that like the only thing you remember about this movie?
As I'm talking
Did you
about
see
it,
the posters?
I can't. I feel less and less certain that I've seen it the more and more I talk about it.
I feel like this movie does a good job of like really something that movies nowadays are very bad at, where this movie I feel like does a good job of being like, the name of the movie has the word wedding in it. This movie is about a wedding. And I feel like they get to them being engaged pretty quick. And it's just like a nice, quick whirlwind romance of quick cuts and edits. And then it's like, now we're engaged. It's like, oh, thank God. Okay.
So we get like
Here's
a
the actual
also
movie.
have her. Here's the thing I like about this movie. I think I'm a thing is in my memory. What's cool about it is it's not that she starts out one way, meets this guy, and turns into a different person.
No, not at all.
Which is more of like a she's all that-ish kind of thing. I think in this one, she starts her journey on her own of stepping out from her parents' restaurant. I believe she gets a job at a travel agency.
Oh.
And when she steps out on her own, that's when she collides with him. And she's just like,
She's got to go to Texas to talk to GW.
Yeah, right. And she has no, it's all very new to her. So she's trying to navigate both worlds
She's
of
very
being independent
awkward.
and in love, has a huge crush on this person who's very comfortable around her. And so I think it stays in that, but it's never like, oh, will they or won't they get married?
No.
It's more like, how will they possibly overcome all of these?
So is there tension of like, when you meet my family, you'll hate me and call the whole thing off? Or I think more
it's
just like a comedy of errors. Oh, it's so funny how big and loud they are.
I think it's a fish out of water both ways.
Yeah, I think part of it, I think there is that tension with her, but it's more just like she's just juggling this anxiety of like her family is so close knit, and like she's by the fact that she's not marrying a nice Greek boy, she's already like broken some unspoken, probably not unspoken actually, probably some loudly spoken pact with her parents. So there's tension there. And then, there's this ongoing thing of like, is he willing to deal with this family as much as they want me to continue to deal with them? Because they are a lot.
So what's our does this follow a pretty typical rom-com structure? Do we have like a 2/3 the way through things break down and then they come back together?
There's got to be something, right? At least like her parents are grumpy about something, or there's got to be a moment where like someone's pissed off, right?
I think there is something. I don't know. I think that to me is one of the reasons I really like this movie is it's less standard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not fully in the Hallmark pattern. And I think part of it is the origin story is not. It was birthed out of a Hollywood robot writing it.
Right.
So I think there's a little bit more just like ensemble living in the characters, funny movie that happens to have this huge romantic element more than everything is designed in order to create obstacles to the altar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My guess is that more of like that, whatever that conflict is at the end is like she just has a moment of feeling completely overwhelmed by all these like demands from like every individual person in her family has something that they need or want in the wedding.
Right.
And then they all have their own quirks. And I think she might just feel overwhelmed. And then there's like probably a moment where like, it doesn't matter. We love each other. We're just going to, support each other kind
Maybe
of thing.
she threatens to elope at some point or something like that.
Damn.
Oh yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
I remember a couple running bits.
Okay.
One is that almost everyone is named Nikki or Nick.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then another one is that the dad uses Windex
For
to like
everything.
hear anything.
What?
Like if there's
Yeah.
ever like an injury or something, you just have to spray a little Windex on it and it fixes it right up.
Wow.
I have a Windex story.
Do you?
Save that for
That
I'm
was not-
interested.
that was
Second
not
half.
That was
expected.
second half.
Teaser.
Wow.
Wow.
Can't wait to hear it.
Like Dan's like, I have something to contribute. I haven't seen this
Yeah.
movie.
Does
All
she-
I remember is there's someone with curly hair on the poster, but
Yeah.
I got a
Does
Windex story.
Does she have any sisters, or is that part of the tension? She's like the only daughter.
Great question.
I think it's all cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like I just vaguely remember it just being like a lot of scenes of just like Joey Fatone and like 18 other men,
Yeah.
right? Of similar ages, just being like, oh, whoa, ba-ba-da-boo, opa. And just like,
Doesn't she maybe have sisters who are married?
oh, maybe
I can't
that's
remember.
it.
I know she
Yeah.
has a
That could
cousin,
be.
Nikki, she's close to.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is like she has sisters, but they're all married to nice Greek boys.
Mm.
Yeah, maybe.
One,
I don't know.
some of the 18 men behind Joey Fatone are the husbands of her sisters or something. Yeah.
Joey Fatone is a brother, or he's
Oh,
Family.
his family. Close.
I don't
family.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember how
It's not
anyone
a
is
huge
related.
role.
No.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the joke is that it's impossible.
Yeah. And this is autobiographical.
I think somewhat, maybe. That's a great question. I will look it up.
It feels very, if nothing else, it feels very like inspired by the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like this specific scenario, but I'm guessing her parents in the movie are heavily based on her parents in real life.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a slam dunk for Bechdel Wallace.
Oh God, let's
Yeah.
hope so.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I was just thinking, I feel like there's probably a heart-to-heart moment where she's sitting on a bed with her mom, like on the end of the bed, talking about something.
Yep. The dad is the head of the house, but the mom is the neck. And she
Whoa.
swivels the head.
Wow.
Something?
Well, that's something from the movie.
Okay.
You could look forward to that.
Okay, I do.
Nice.
I don't know. I'm already feel like I think sometimes when some of us have seen the movie and others of us haven't, and some of us maybe remember it and really love it, like me, for example, I start to get really defensive about it.
You should. I mean, you should be very worried because I saw this semi consensually in high school. I have not seen it since then. I literally watched it because someone else wanted to watch it. And I don't remember necessarily being like, that movie ruled.
Yeah.
So
if
I'm very worried that it's going to be not great now that I see it as an adult.
Yeah, if I have seen this
Fair.
movie, it is in the same circumstances of like Bring It On, where
Yeah.
I was in college and some girls, young women,
Wanted to watch it.
were like, "You haven't seen My Big Fat Greek Wedding?" And I was like, "I'll watch a movie." Sure.
Yeah. And then like your legs touched at one point while sitting next to each other and you're just like, "Oh my God."
Oh my god! And that's
Gasp.
all I was thinking about the whole time. That's why I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
I'm just sweating buckets.
Yeah.
Well, Molly, how should we rate this movie? Unless Dan has something else.
I'll talk about it in the second half.
Okay.
I have seen some of her other films and I have opinions.
Wow.
Oh, a lot of teasers for the second half.
That's right.
Windex bottles.
Oh,
Unprecedented.
Beth Koo. A Bethkins
Beth.
Koo.
Beth Koo got in there with Windex.
The K is for Koo.
Yeah, let's merge that with Hallmark moments and do Windex moments.
Oh,
So it's like
Yeah.
Windex sponsored a Hallmark movie
Yes.
and they're like forced to incorporate it into the story.
Oh, product placement.
Exactly. Yes.
Nice.
Or those damn ads that they run during free throws in basketball games, where half the
No one
screen
knows
is
what
the
you're
game.
talking about.
The sports head out there.
What?
It's a 4-quadrant podcast. I'm speaking to my sports heads.
Yeah, okay.
You're watching Timberwolves basketball. Go Wolves.
Yeah.
And Rudy's making a free throw or whatever. And then they're like, let's have a word from Window Concepts. And they'll play like a Window Concepts ad alongside the free throws.
Wow, they're
Oh,
free
that's
thowing?
While they're free
annoying.
throwing. It's
That's
infuriating.
Awful.
no big deal, but I also watch sports sometimes. And so when we watch Premier League soccer or football, they always have the like, oh, what is it called? Like extra time, like whatever. There's extra time every half, but it's sometimes brought to you by
Ugh.
some sort of luxury brand, and I always think it's so funny, like to pretend like it's more luxurious time than any other time.
I will
Everybody
say
gets a
this,
hot towel in the stadium seats.
I
Yeah.
can for sure understand wedging in some ads during soccer or football, as some people say.
Yeah, that's why they televise it.
I know, but like it's nonstop, right? There's
Yeah.
not big timeouts. Like you just have to get an ad in there. But basketball, that's infuriating because it already stops like every 5 seconds for an ad.
Yep.
I don't know. I will say I feel like somebody got a promotion at some of these like Peacock and other websites where if you press pause, an ad immediately
Ugh.
comes up on the screen.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't love it, but they're not wrong. They're
Sure.
not wrong to try to get some stuff in there.
I mean, that is a streaming service equivalent of whoever figured out how to like, put cool graphics like on the basketball court to actually like help visually help people understand the game, but also use it to just put in extra advertising for stuff that isn't painted on the floor.
Arby's.
Oh,
Mostly
yeah.
Arby's. We got
Is it
Totes.
really?
Yeah.
Well,
Nice.
speaking of extra time,
Yes.
so far we have a rating
That's our rating
system,
scale.
which is Windex moments.
Didn't go too long, as some people have given that feedback. Perfect amount of time.
Oh, wow.
Dan, you're first, as we all know.
I am first, as we all know, and I accept that role with humble responsibility. As I stated earlier, I'm concerned that this movie was of its moment and will no longer be of this moment, and that I will think it's a real snooze. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be super charming. I'm really hanging my hat on those parents because I feel like they're a delight. Yeah, I will say I feel like I'm going to have a cowardly 3 Windex moments because I just don't know.
Yeah. And we should, in the second half, list those moments.
Absolutely.
Beth, you are second, as we all know.
Yeah. Now that I know that, is that going to affect the amount of
Who hates improv?
moments that I...
Beth, the integrity,
She'll
the
just rank
integrity of our
one.
rating system.
No,
By default.
I remember liking this movie, and I also think it was made in the early 2000s, which makes me think that it's going to drop a rating right there. So I'm going to say
Smart.
4. I'm going to say 4 Windex moments. I think it will be fun to watch.
Awesome. I am third, and my name is Dan.
Thank you for reiterating that for everybody.
Man, coming
What's that
into
guy's name? Steve?
Yeah, right.
Steve and other Steve.
That's right. Oh, I hope there's a rival podcast out there with 2 Steves.
Me too.
We hate them.
Yeah, we do.
I
You're
was-
on notice, Steve's.
Yeah. Steve Recall. Just think about
Totes Steve call.
coming into this, I was thinking, well, this movie's a delight. People like it. And I still like that as a starting point. But now I'm like, is it outdated? And have I never seen it and have no connection to it? So I'm dropping even more down to 3. Coward,
All right.
Coward Wedding. My big coward wedding. I'll
Wow.
workshop it.
The rating scale is Windex moments.
Yep.
Okay.
3.
That's a
Windex
the
moments.
subtitle.
Oh, got you. Got you.
Yeah.
All year.
I was like, respect Beth. Oh, thank you, Dan. I am last, and that does not upset me. This is Molly. I have fond memories, which means I have the most to lose. In case this turns out to not be as charming as I remembered, but already I want to give myself some grace. Because if you put this in the context of the movies where it came out, it's one of the few rom-coms where Jennifer Aniston isn't tripping.
Yeah.
And that's most of the comedy, right? So,
Yeah.
okay, I've talked myself back up. I'm gonna take a big swing, be Beale, bold, Beth Beyond betrothed, brother, boxing, big Beale Baggins,
Baklava.
bold. Baklava, bold, with 5 Windex.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's a lot of Windex.
Yeah.
A lot of bottles, a lifetime supply. And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch my big fat Greek wedding, and we'll be right back.
Hello Hello, and welcome to the mid-roll, the middle of the podcast, where we talk about something interesting, such as patreon.com/totesrecall. What
Heard
is
of
that
it.
you say? It's a
Also heard of
website. Wow, braggy. Where you can go and you can contribute to the production of Totes Recall financially.
Comedy is not free.
It's not
It's
free.
not.
It costs
It's
money
not.
for all these
It's like
laughs.
freedom.
It is exactly like freedom.
If you head there right now, you can see ways to support the production of this podcast by donating money to us. What do you get for that? Well, A, we make the podcast, but B, you also get special rewards
Oh.
Oh, wow.
depending on the level that you select.
Oh, but am I assigned a level?
You get to choose the amount that you want to donate. You can
man.
donate
Wow, how
as little
nice.
as $1 a month. And with that, you get access to bonus content every month. You get access to Discord where we talk about stuff and play games and
What if I have a cold head?
Cold head?
Yeah.
oh,
Can you
maybe
help?
you want to sign up for the level where you get a hat.
Ah, nice.
Keep your totes head warm.
Nice.
Peek behind the curtain. This is how Totes Recall continues to exist, is that Beth carries on professionally no
Yes.
matter what we do.
Yes, correct. So please support Beth financially.
It really comes to, yes, it comes down to Beth, you guys.
Give Beth an incentive to tolerate us for another 10 years.
Thank you very much for listening to this mid-roll content. Now back to the show.
.com.
Thank you. .com.
And we're back. We just watched 95 minutes of just pure culture clash. A lot of Greek stuff.
Wow.
Really delightful.
Mhm.
Movie called My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
A lot of Greek stuff, huh?
Just a lot of Greek stuff in there.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that
you caught any
that
of it.
checks out.
Huh. Yeah.
That checks out. I know everybody's clamoring for it, but big reveal, I have not seen this movie.
Wow.
For sure. Zero parts of it were familiar. Opa.
Nope.
I can't even
Yeah,
say.
Nopa, more like.
Yeah, nailed it.
Got it.
I can't even, I don't think I even saw the trailer.
Wow.
The poster's familiar. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Wow.
That's it.
There was
you
there's that scene where she like tries to like walk away and she's got the headset on and falls, and I feel like that
Yeah.
was on
Big
DVDs.
DVD.
I
Yes,
was
which I
texting that
apologize
moment.
to Molly. I apologize to Molly on feminism's behalf. That is what happened in this movie, because you specifically
I
called it out in the
know.
first half. That
I know. But, there was a lot of really good physical comedy. So I
That's
didn't
true.
feel like they just relied on, and that wasn't her only reason for awkwardness.
yeah,
so I
and at least she
appreciated
didn't. At least she didn't just like trip while walking towards him, right?
that. Yeah.
Like
Or
there
walking
was like
down the aisle.
there was like a specific, like very specific reason that she fell, rather than
Yes.
just like something you don't see something that's off camera causes the female protagonist to just fall out of frame for some reason.
Oh, I'm so awkward.
I'm so
Dan,
normal and
this-
attainable.
relatable. Dan Jaquette. So this came out in 2002.
Yep.
Whoa.
What were you doing in your life that you missed this movie?
Ooh, great question.
First, credit to Beth. She guessed 2002.
Hot
Thank
dog.
you very
Great job.
much. Oh. Didn't understand why you were saying hot dog.
Chicago.
dog.
That's why.
Oh, because it was in Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chicago.
Not New Jersey, Chicago.
Not New Jersey at all.
2002, I was a sophomore in college. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
So just watching a lot of VH1 late at night.
Sure,
Yeah.
that sounds right. Yeah,
Yeah.
Already aged out of MTV.
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Too cool.
Just blasting what like
Drops
land.
of Jupiter.
There you go. Steal My Sunshine.
Have I Have I already complained about Drops of Jupiter? I think
probably,
maybe
but
I
it's
have.
worth
I mean,
the play
everybody
again.
has, but
It's a
go
terrible
ahead.
song.
I mean, so I was at a bar one night and this guy was going through a breakup and he was like doing that thing where he's like, all he wanted to do was talk about it, and he'd start to talk about it and then stop himself. So he was bummed out but didn't want to talk about it. So it was very hard to like incorporate it into the friend group. And then Drops of Jupiter played and he got really quiet. I was like, hey man, how you doing? He's like, oh, this was our song. I was like, oh, it was you and your ex's song? And he was like, well, no, but it just really reminds me of our situation. Oh man, wow. Now you know everything that happened. And I wanted to be like, no, because the lyrics make no sense. Like, what is it about? Is it drugs? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know
It
that
made me so mad.
my beyond betrothed and some friends and I have a running bit with Drops of Jupiter where we will just like surreptitiously play the song somehow, and it's called Drops of Jupitering someone.
Nice.
It's like your local reference Rickroll.
Yeah, it is. Like
Is that a
literally
local
the other
reference?
day. It's
To
local
Beth.
to my house. The other day we were listening to some music or something on a speaker, and then my husband was like, I'm going to go downstairs and work on some stuff. And his phone was connected to the speaker, and he went downstairs, and then all of a sudden it was like, so tell me.
Do you find a cell here?
The best one by far was after
Yeah. What?
after an improv show.
Uh-huh.
One of the people that's in his improv group drove his
dox
car.
him.
I won't dox him, but he does love reptiles.
Oh.
Anyway, he drove. We were like in the parking lot, talking after a show, and he drove by in his car, just blasting it.
Nice. Here's
Best.
Here's what's wild is I was once standing outside that very theater in the middle of the day,
Whoa.
and someone was blasting Drops of Jupiter out of their car. And I don't think it
What?
was any of them. I think it was just a genuine drops blast.
Yeah, the universe was Drops of Jupitering you.
Yeah. What is
Speaking
their
of things
actual
that
name?
Drop
Oh, sure.
into our
Yep.
Beth's office.
Yes.
It's the awards we earned for the segment we all love and know, 60-second summary, in
Yeah.
which we summarize the movie we've just watched, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, in 60
Best
seconds.
summary award you've ever had, and me.
Me. Steer me.
Did you ever get married in a Greek Orthodox church?
Oh, Molly's gonna do 60 seconds to
Oh,
the
right.
tune of
No.
Drops of
All
Jupiter.
right. Yep.
No,
that's what's happening.
I feel
That's
like I know the
definitely
movie
what's
too well. I know it too well. No, somebody else do it.
The traditional Greek manner is that I volunteer, Opa, to do it.
Lyndon hasn't done it in a while.
Yeah, I feel like
Is that true?
I think that is true.
Oh, look, I have my timer
Oh,
ready to go.
God
No.
damn it. Fuck this, man.
We got hustled.
Okay, don't forget. Start with we open on and go.
The movie begins in Chicago at 5 a.m. A self-described frump girl, Tula something, is in the car with her father. They're going to the restaurant. Her father immediately says something misogynist about how she's looking old and needs to get married quickly. She's
20
narrating
seconds.
how she is Greek and it's hard to be Greek and she feels so different and weird and everyone's getting married and everyone's supposed to get married and have Greek babies. And then she sees a man in the restaurant. She is so horny she can't even speak or give coffee to the person who asked for coffee.
Yep.
Cut to, she uses her smarts and the smarts of her mother to take computer classes, work for
15
her aunt.
seconds remaining.
Her hot friend comes into the travel agency. They make out a bunch, then they bang, and then they get engaged. Her dad is mad because he's a wasp. This is the plot for the rest
2
of the movie,
seconds.
and they get married. It's fine.
Yay!
Wow.
Great job.
Great job.
Great job.
Great job.
Wow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I was
Perfect
pretty
timekeeping.
I was really distracted by something. I don't know. I just felt like I was on edge the whole time, and I couldn't really
Yeah.
focus on the movie.
That's fair.
So just to
Yeah.
be clear, the warnings that you got were 20 seconds
Yep.
and 15 seconds remaining.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
20 seconds in, presumably.
I'm
Who knows?
guessing that's what
Who knows?
Yeah.
Second one was clarified, but
I almost said 1/3 of the way.
at
You're
least
30% done.
at least they were round numbers.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah. And a unit of time that fits into a minute. Jesus Christ.
Well, 100% Utah.
Thank you.
Yep. Very good. Very good. There's some subplots in there, but that really nails the overall thing.
Yeah, some people named Nick. I don't know.
Oh
A
yeah.
lot of people named Nick.
I want to say I was relieved watching this movie because I really appreciated how there's like a lot of broad comedy, but she made sure that each character also had a pretty real moment of some real kind of vulnerability and showing kind of the history and the weight behind some of the things that come off as comedic in other places. And I thought that was really charming and really nice.
Yeah.
And then she fell down.
I mean,
LOL.
Yeah.
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 that was
Well,
it.
yeah.
Honestly,
There's
it was.
a lot of physical comedy.
To be fair, though,
It was
that
funny.
fall was genuinely pretty good.
It was really
Like,
good,
she
and
did
it
a
followed.
really good job.
Yeah.
It follows what I think is the funniest point in the
Oh,
movie,
hell yes.
where he is kind of trying to make her laugh. So he's doing that thing where he's walking by the travel agency while going down the stairs, but instead he
So
walks
good.
into this old woman and she just beats him up with her purse.
Wails on him. Oh, that
It
was
was the best part of the
amazing.
movie. I agree.
Yes.
I love her.
She
it
was
was so
great.
good.
Yeah, she like shoves him to the ground and then just
And then just
whoops
goes
his
for it.
ass.
What I love about it is, like, you know, it would have been a perfectly, like, the beat was already there when she shoves him down and swings the purse at him, right? You're like, comedic beat over. But no,
Yeah.
we keep the camera on to show that she is, like, whipping that thing multiple times. And it's a big purse.
Yeah.
And it's Chicago. You got to defend yourself, right?
Well, and you got all those dogs in there.
That's right.
Yeah. And then it's great because it comes back to it too. Like their flirting is so good. I also liked how they didn't hit, speaking of beats of a rom-com.
Yeah.
I liked how a lot of the moments were really like not very hallmarky, but felt more authentic and way more fun.
I did. Yeah, I appreciated how Ian, like, I like how it was the way you sort of learned about her anxiety around him meeting her family. Like, it was presented pretty, like, in a naturalistic way where Ian's just like a nice guy and genuinely wants to know more about her and is like cognizant of the fact that she's being super closed off about it and is sort of like gently nudging her, but he's not just like, oh, what are your parents serial killers or something? Or something, I don't know. Just some like
Yeah.
over the top, like, let me meet your family, God.
Yeah, he's kind of a Disney prince. I feel like
Yeah,
he
totally.
doesn't have much going on. He's just
No.
there
To be
to
handsome.
be nice and not Greek,
Yes.
and have that be the conflict.
Yes.
But he also went against his parents,
Sure.
right? They didn't want him to be a professor, and his parents are so dry. Like, I think they did a really good job of showing like how ready he was even for spice in his food.
Yeah. Right.
I think he was a little bit I think that's I'm gonna push back a little on that
Wow.
because I feel like a Disney prince is there to sing and to be a foil like the thing, and I think he was actually representative of kind of a reflection of both of their journeys. I don't know.
I was just thinking about that part where he keeps on getting kind of like hazed by the brother and Joey Fatone. But like, yeah, telling him that he asked like how to say something in Greek, and then they tell him something that's inappropriate to say. But yeah, there's a moment where he just kind of like chases them down and stuff, and it
Yeah.
feels like, oh, he's
Part of the mix now.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's just like, he's always so easygoing. It feels like there's almost no tension for him.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like even his parents have like, there's that moment of like, well, we'll call the club, which could be a big like tension moment. He's like, we'll get rid of the church, and then it's like, it's just there so she can take out the ridiculous book, and once
Right.
more she's like a fish out of water, and it's fine. I'm not like
Yeah.
mad about it. It's just like
He is clearly like, he stopped giving a fuck what they think years ago, and he plays it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He does, but like they're genuine. Yeah, no, but they go on an arc too. Even his parents.
Hell yeah, they do.
And
Like
it's
they-
getting drunk.
Yeah, they figure out how
The
to
secret
relax
to
into it
any-
and make jokes.
The secret to create any wasps, bring any wasps barriers down, excessive alcohol.
Oh, yeah. Have you all had ouzo or
No,
the Turkish
I never
equivalent
have.
raka?
I want to
know
know
if I've
more
had
about
Ouzo.
it because they were very drunk on just one shot. And so
No,
I'm
they did
wondering-
Well, it
multiple
was 2
shots.
shots.
Did they?
They did multiple, yeah.
Okay.
But also, I mean, that is straight alcohol. Like,
Yes.
if you don't drink and all of a sudden you have like a lot of, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking as someone who rarely drinks.
I mean,
It's
it
got
was
a very strong taste.
there was some suggestive cutting that would imply that like they were coming back around multiple times because her aunt was like another one, and like what we've learned from her aunt by that point is she is the pushiest woman in the world.
Yeah.
I love her.
I love
Yeah, she's
her
so
so
good.
much. Andrea Martin is such a treasure. Oh my god.
That character is amazing.
Vula.
Like she makes she makes like these facial expressions that like she only has to do that. Like
Yes.
that's all she has to do and I am laughing.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Very good. As soon as the movie started, my brain had like a rush of nostalgia
Oh,
because the song at the beginning, when I was in high school, I was in synchronized swimming, and there was one
Bragging.
year where, no big deal, I know how to swim. There was one year where two of the girls on the team had a duet to the music from this movie. And so I was like very familiar with it. As soon as it started to play, I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this 100,000 times.
was it?
All of a sudden you had chlorine in your eyes.
Yeah.
So was it like presented as like Top of the Pops? Like we all know this is from this Greek movie, or was it just completely
No, not really.
like a removed from it?
No.
Okay.
It was just like, yeah, music kind of pulled from, they would do music from all over the map, I guess. Like one year I did a routine to, there's a VeggieTales movie about Jonah and the whale or whatever.
Sure.
Yep. And so our routine was entirely to that music. It's instrumental, but like, yeah, no one would be like, oh, that's from that VeggieTales movie.
Before we go too much further, I have a couple corrections to make. One, it's John Corbett. Corbett, not
Corbett?
Corbin.
Not Corbin Dallas.
Corbett.
Not multipass.
Not Corbin. And Aiden was his character, not Ethan, on Sex and the City.
Well, he plays
And
an Ian in this movie.
Oh,
He
wow.
does, which is the
Typecast.
name of Nia, the writer-director's
She didn't direct this
actual
one.
husband. Oh, sorry. Writer star in this movie. Actually married a dude named Ian Gomez,
Okay.
who you have seen if you've ever seen Felicity or a bunch of shows. And he's in this movie. He plays the best friend to Ian Miller.
Yeah.
And so it's very
Oh,
funny.
he's the guy
like-
who has no time to eat the food he ordered.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's how we introduce-
exactly. Yes. He's kind of he's a little bit of a jerk.
Yeah. He's kind of a sourpuss. He's
mm-hmm.
like barely the best friend character. I feel like he's just there because they felt like they needed one.
Yeah.
This is more of my Ian's story is
Well,
late, which
okay,
is fine.
hold on.
I'm not-
I'm gonna no, Dan. We're gonna talk about
Okay,
this because
let's fight.
I think what
I'm
it
already on your
is
side,
is.
Dan. Don't worry about it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This movie had so much more depth with the love interest than most rom-coms, like by far. But he was not an equal main character. It was her and her life story.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was the point of it. But it's not like a Disney movie where you have a prop in a suit that the person has to marry, right? He's no Eric, but we don't hate all
he's
Erics.
No, Eric.
He's no
of
Eric.
course.
No,
Yes.
he's no
No
Eric.
one's
But
that boring.
But I would just say, like, he has an arc. His parents have an arc. His best friend has an arc. Like, they all change during the course of the movie, which almost never happens. Like, typically, you just have a cute guy, and the woman decides between job and guy. And in this, like, there is just so much more to it. And she had to fight for that. So I feel a
What
little
is his
irritated.
arc? What is Ian's arc?
Ian's arc is that he has settled in on a life that he knows he wants something different, but he's not sure what it is until he goes to a certain Greek restaurant, tries some food, and thinks, oh, wow, there's flavor in the world.
Yes.
Because apparently, I guess he lives in Chicago and he's never been to a great restaurant.
He's a nice Midwesterner. He grew up on both spices, salt and pepper.
Yes.
Exactly. And then he
his
meets
arc-
this...
Okay.
Well, no, he goes from someone who is like pretty complacent in his life to feeling like he's met somebody who has awakened all of his like aspirations, and he speaks openly about his feelings.
He then agrees to get baptized in the Greek Orthodox Church. He agrees to only have members of her family in his wedding party. He agrees to do everything that her family wants at any point in the event. So he continues to be pretty complacent, but now he's happy.
He is complacent, but at the beginning, like when his dad says you should have asked, a good person would ask. He says, but she's 30 years old.
Hell yeah.
And the dad, and he's like, okay, may I please? And the dad says no, and he's like, okay. And he goes in the kitchen and says, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And leaves, right? So it's not like it's
Pretty bold.
It's pretty bold, and he's in that guy's home. He's not, but he's like all about her. But I wouldn't say he's just like some mushy foil that's meant to just.
I don't think that's what Dan is saying.
Line. I think he is, because he called her a he was like, there's no story here. He's just a Disney prince.
But not every Disney prince is Eric.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Which Disney princes have a story arc, except for in the very recent ones?
Aladdin.
No, Aladdin.
Aladdin's
Well,
the main
that story is
character.
about Aladdin.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just kidding.
I'm saying he's a supporting character in this story. Like,
He is a support. He's literally a supporting character in the story of her life.
Yeah.
like a Disney
But
prince.
he has way more to do than a Disney prince.
What are Ian's parents' arc?
They go
Get
from being
drunk.
extremely stuffy.
Yep.
They do get drunk, but after that, like even when they're stone cold sober at
Yeah.
the wedding, like the dad cracks a joke for the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
They look like they relax and enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Like y'all knew that you were making text jokes about Rodney was going to get some pottery class.
Yeah.
So they also kind of woke up and went on their less judgmental.
I'm not saying
arcs.
it's not existent. I'm saying it's light. He has a light arc, and
It's like a
He's
gentle,
a heavy
gentle
arc
parabola.
for being a side character in someone else's story. It's not comparing apples to apples.
Great apples to oranges, am I right?
Or apples to oranges.
Miller's and
Portocalis.
Portocalis.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Why I can remember the character name and I can't remember the writer's name is beyond me. Go ahead.
The writer was Nia Vardalos.
Nia Vardalos. Thank you.
Yeah.
What is Ian's best friend's arc? Hold on, I'm not done.
Yeah. Okay. So he starts out and he's just wanting to hook up with the same girls, right? You assume like the same blondes that were in her elementary school flashback and so on. He has very little dialogue, but the dialogue he does have, he tries to razz his best friend about him being kind of held by the short hairs of this woman, and then immediately backtracks and says, I know, I'm an asshole. My life is empty, basically. And Corbin's like, hey, she's got cousins. And he kind of rolls his eyes like, I'm not going to get in. Like, whatever you're into, I'm not going to have to do all this for somebody else. But then he shows up at the wedding and he has a good time and he ends up getting together with a cousin.
When does he get together with a cousin?
Did you not watch the final scene where they're dancing? And he is pulled into the circle of Greek happiness.
Yeah, he's pulled into the circle of Greek happiness, just like every other
By
character in the movie.
The hand of the woman who had already been flirting.
Yeah.
They had
When
been
were they
face flirting. Oh, shut up. Listen, I can't help you if you're not going to watch the movie. Because I had
All
time
right.
to Wikipedia and watch the
All right.
movie. And
So
100%,
Okay.
when she's standing up there as a bridesmaid,
Yep.
they make eye contact and it is on.
Great.
Oh, if that would be like a will they bang thing? Yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
they will.
They will. They absolutely will.
All right, maybe I was too focused on Ian because it was the conclusion of his incredible arc at the wedding. So I didn't notice the bridesmaid since there were 18 of them.
Who
And I'll
knew
tell
my
you-
big fat Greek wedding was going to be the next Apollo 13?
Here's the thing.
least
Here's
it's
why
not
I'm a
3-on-1.
little sensitive about. Well, yeah, I mean, not yet. Here's
She's
the
going to
thing
get
that,
us.
is that. So this wasn't quite the Cinderella story that I thought it might be at the first half. It's not like she just wrote this great one woman play and then it became famous. She was doing a workshop through HBO. And she had written a 45-minute workshop or like a half-hour workshop, whatever. They worked into this thing. And it was, she kept touring it and refining it, ultimately in LA. And it was a very popular show that kept selling out. Rita Wilson, who is married to Tom Hanks and is also of Greek descent, which I did not know. Rita Wilson was like, Tom, you got to come see this movie. And Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson and another producer.
Wait, it was already a short film?
No. It wasn't a short film. It was
Stage
still a show, still a stage show.
Was it a one-woman
But in
show
LA.
or it was like a short play?
I got the impression it was still a one-woman show. And anyway, they started a production company called Playtone. Remember that really awkward, like
It felt
Like
like
produced by?
early 90s.
Yeah,
it did. Apparently, that was like a nod to the movie that came out. What was it called? It was
Hackers.
that funny thing, that thing you do,
Uh-huh.
which Tom Hanks was in, and that was the fictitious name of the production company, and they just made that the name of theirs. So it was kind of a throwback. Yeah, I did, because I was like, this is weird. Is this produced by a toy company? But anyway, that's Tom Hanks's production company, and they've had a deal with HBO forever. And so they produced it into a movie. It cost $5 million to make and made like $381 million at the box office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang.
Oh, but the point is, before he bought it, she was trying to sell it to all these studios, and they were all like, okay, but you can't be in it. How about Marissa Tomei? And how about the family isn't Greek, they're Hispanic?
Oh.
And they just tried to take out like all the parts that make it a great, like it's her actual life story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Tom Hanks was like, that's what makes this authentic and interesting to watch, is that it's her actual life.
Yeah.
And so because of that, it got made, and it got made the right way. So that's why I feel irritated by other people who also don't believe in sending people to space, who insist on putting it back in that little box.
But he's only talking about the non-Greek characters.
Listen to me.
It's not even a critique. It's not something I don't like. I just thought it
You're
was
just not
notable.
seeing it like I'm seeing it.
Dan just a big Corbett head and wanted to see him stretch his wings a little more.
He's getting these big swings converting religions, and it's like, yeah,
Goddamn.
great.
Oh, is that touching on something in you that maybe is the patriarchy?
What?
What?
Kind of man
Yes.
would... What? What?
No? What's the right answer?
I don't know. I don't know.
But no, what is the resistance, right?
It's not
Like,
resistance.
women
I'm not
all
mad
the
about it.
time
It's notable.
Drop
think
all
you-
their stuff.
It's notable
for some
because of the
romantic
patriarchy,
thing.
I guess. Because most movies, the man is more. I don't know.
He'd be
I'm
like,
not
oh,
mad about it."
jeez, I'm not going to marry in a Greek Orthodox church.
It would be typically a point of tension and contention in
Yeah.
most movies.
Or there'd be like an LOL where he's like, oh, I'm getting oiled up over here. And then here he's just like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, and the tension is not between our two romantic, not even leads, our romantic lead and our romantic supporting character, like
Yeah.
many rom-coms are. It's more amongst the family, right?
Yeah.
Ian almost doesn't matter. He's a sweetie, and I like him,
He's sweetie, yeah.
but like he's not important in terms of his character as much as him being not Greek. That's the most important thing in terms of the arc of this movie. That's the point I'm trying to make, which is great. It's different than most rom-coms, and I support it and I love it, and I wish
down
they
with
would
the
send all
patriarchy.
Greeks to space. Is that what I should believe?
Finally.
I think so.
That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fund the Greek space program.
Let's talk about her goddamn parents already,
Yeah,
which
Dan,
is the actual source of tension in the entire movie.
yeah. You promised me I would love Greek dad.
Yeah.
Wow, we
Hey.
apologize. No,
Here's what
I
happened.
didn't remember that at all.
No, I thought it was just going to be like oh, everybody wishes they were Greek. Hey, you know what? This word comes from the root of Greek. Greek. I thought it was that. I didn't know it was also like, in Greece, women are broodmares and they must listen to me at all times.
Yeah, that was too bad.
It's a shame. It was too bad. But her mom was good.
Love the
Well,
mom.
no, and but this is also just a thing I will mention is that he was so much like that. He was almost a caricature of himself. But then when his heart is broken, like you sort of get more of a glimpse into like his like first generation American like heartbreak, right? Like, because it represents something more than that. So I did appreciate that. But yeah, that whole first part of the movie, I was like, oh, I remember this being like way more innocuous.
Yeah, me too.
probably because it was the early 2000s, and I was
Yeah.
like, patriarchy, sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but now it's like, hey, this is why I got the smarts. This is why you shouldn't educate women. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then like
Ay.
there's the throwaway of like her mom and her aunt just being like, yeah, whatever, we'll just tell him what to do and he'll think it's his own idea. But like that was one line, you know? I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a
That
lot.
scene
They
is
just laid it on
awesome.
real thick. It was awesome.
I love
But-
that. I did learn a root word. I did not know that like xenophobia comes from the Greek word because he keeps calling
This is the Zeno, yeah.
Zeno,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that must mean outsider or something
Or
like
stranger
that.
or something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Language.
Yeah, I don't think all of his Greek word facts were accurate.
No.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, he's stretching a little
I
bit.
mean, kimono for sure was accurate.
Yeah.
So good. I love the Windex thing too. It's so funny every time he sprays.
I don't like, where does that come from? I don't
that
understand.
feels a
Yeah.
little out of place in the movie, honestly.
Does it?
Yeah, it feels like a little too screwball for
Well-
what is pretty grounded the rest of the movie. Like, the family is boisterous and loud, but they're not.
But didn't your family have that kind of thing where like I remember there was like
no.
there was an SNL sketch where it's like put some butter on it, like that they have like the go-to like this will solve everything. In my family it was like gargle salt water.
Sure.
It didn't matter if your arm was broken or whatever. Like there's sort of cure-all.
That's funny you should say that, Molly. We have a Discord, which is a text-based platform.
Oh,
and
okay.
We ask for questions and comments. We usually get to this at the end of the show, but Andrew did ask, what's the Windex of your families? Any odd
Okay.
ailment, cures, or traditions growing up? And
No.
yours was gargling salt water?
Yep. My grandpa was huge on that, and
It's-
it just
it's good.
became a whole thing. Yeah.
That is good.
I support it.
I remember my mom thinking this movie was super funny, that Windex thing particularly, because her dad would put bleach on everything.
Oh no.
And they
Strong.
joked about they joked that when he passed away that they would put him in a bleach bottle. That's what his urn
Nice.
would be. They did
Like
not
he
do
would-
that.
He would put it like on his skin though.
It's a cure-all.
P.S. though, that is great. If you are stung by or attacked by fire ants,
Oh.
within 15 minutes, take a mixture of, I don't know, probably a little less than half, but a little bit of bleach and water and dab it, and you won't
Don't
have like the yeah.
Haha.
And you won't have the pustules and the itching and stuff because the
Ew.
bleach neutralizes whatever the
Neat.
yeah. Mhm.
I've also heard if you get stung by a jellyfish, pee on yourself.
I've also
Yeah.
heard don't pee on yourself.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Anyway, we're not doctors,
No.
but
Please
we
don't
know
take medical
them.
advice from us.
We all know at least one doctor.
I know some doctors, yeah.
Yep.
No big deal.
I don't know if we had a specific thing. My mom would maybe suck on zinc when I had a sore throat until it tasted bad, and that's when it had done its work.
Sure.
That
Oh,
was like the magic.
what is like? where
Wouldn't
do you
that
get
technically
zinc
mean though
from?
you were finally getting down to the zinc?
The zinc lozenge. You could buy just zinc lozenges.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But like if it tasted bad, isn't that like the actual zinc?
I don't know.
So shouldn't you be just like jamming down on it once it starts tasting bad?
Yeah. You should also break open vitamin E capsules and rub that
nice.
on skin irritants.
That feels legit.
Yeah. My dad was big
Yeah.
on Sudafed, like the
Nice.
meth-based Sudafed,
Yeah, dog.
which is still the only decongestant that works. I learned there's the other one, right? The one that you can't make meth with that's over the counter. that you don't have to talk to the pharmacist for. That's also
Yeah.
Sudafed. They just once things got restricted, Sudafed and everybody else was like, we need a different one, and they just decided this was similar chemically and put it out and didn't test it at all. And then later they did studies and it does zero.
Does
It's
jack shit.
Actually nothing.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But
So they
it's
had to
still on
pull
shelves.
everything.
You can
Really?
still buy it. Yeah.
I thought they had to
fucked up.
pull it.
Guess not. Still out there.
Oh,
Anyway, we're not
Jesus
doctors,
Christ.
but
I do have one other item, but I think Lyndon has one.
I don't. I mean, I
So
guess like we put hydrogen peroxide on stuff, and now the internet says that doesn't actually do anything really, or it doesn't do what you think it does. At least, like it'll debride dead flesh, but it doesn't do anything else when it comes to like disinfecting or anything.
Lord.
yeah.
So when I was growing up, there was like almost nothing you couldn't fix by reshaping a wire hanger into some kind of tool or using masking tape. No, duct tape.
This is for medical issues.
No, sorry, we're getting
Oh.
away from medical.
Yeah.
Just like any mechanical issue you might have with your car or in the home, like you could pretty much reshape. And so there would be like any kind of problem. My dad would be like, get me a wire coat hanger and some duct tape.
Nice.
Stat.
Yeah.
And he would like rig up whatever. But I realized to my chagrin that for me, it's painter's tape.
Okay.
I need a roll of painter's tape on hand at all times because it is great for everything. You got a little bit of light coming out of an electronic that's keeping your baby awake.
Uh-huh.
Put some painter's tape on there. You can put a little electrical tape on top, and then when it's time to remove it, it'll come off no problem. Right?
Nice.
You're trying to open a stroller and you can't remember where the little button is. If you can't find it 2 times, the 3rd time you put that painter's tape on, you never search again.
Oh, yeah.
It is good for everything.
You can put painter's tape around all your cords that you plug into a surge protector
Yes.
and label them so you know what cord's what when you got to like
Ooh.
unplug the TV and plug it back in.
Very smart.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Zip ties. That's by zip ties. Once
Yeah.
zip ties
That's
can,
your painter's tape.
yeah, you can fix anything with duct tape and zip ties. That was our job.
My dad's car, the front bumper is entirely attached by zip ties.
Hell
Oh,
yes. That's so punk. I love it.
Yeah.
So strong.
Speaking of punks, I want to talk about Nick, her brother.
The brother?
Not Nick,
Yeah.
her 8 cousins. I really appreciated the fact that he like starts off as just like, hey, I'm just a sleeveless jamoke behind the counter in the kitchen. But then like as the movie went on, it's like, oh, he's actually like, they actually really like each other and like really support each other. And like he's genuinely like happy for her and is like has his own struggles with their dad.
Yeah.
They kind of touch on a little bit. I don't know. I appreciated how much of a character he was in the scenes where he wasn't required to be like the cliche brother, right?
Yeah, and he does the hazing to kind of bring in the Disney prince. And
Yeah.
I noticed that too. I thought it was so sweet that he was inspired by his big sister to pursue his own.
Oh, that was so
Stuff.
touching.
Yeah, they're sweet how supportive they are.
And then it was wild too to see her perfect sister, right? Athena
Mm-hmm.
goes and does exactly what she's supposed to do and looks absolutely miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a nice little contrast of like, yeah, of course, she doesn't want that.
Yeah, I'm glad that woman's miserable too.
Yeah. I agree with Molly. Molly's take is correct in this particular case.
Only one woman
Oh.
should be happy.
Only one woman should be happy. If a man does the bare minimum, he has a successful character arc that we should value and teach in film class. Speaking of men who do very little but win over your hearts, one of my MVPs of this movie is when, of the many hazing moments where Nick and then Angelo, Joey Fatone, gets in on it, which I don't know if they talked about this beforehand or they just have perfect syncing when they make fun of non-Greek men. When they convince him to shout to the entire family, I have 3 testicles. When he thinks he's saying, everybody go inside, dinner's ready or whatever. There's a great shot of the whole family laughing. And most of them just like point and laugh. But her uncle does this amazing thing where he kind of just like glances down at Ian's crotch a little bit. Kind of just out of curiosity, like, oh.
Yeah.
Like trying to see, like trying to interpret the bulge. right? It's amazing.
That's not the first time one
Interpret
of her
the
family
bulge.
members is trying to interpret his bulge.
That's
if I read
true.
this movie right.
Excuse me?
Her cousin Nikki.
Oh, I must have missed that line.
Yeah, they're getting hot and heavy in the travel agency office.
Yes,
Um,
because for reasons that are not clear, they don't ever think of going to his place for months. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, too serious. They got to bang at work where there's giant windows. Like, just everybody could see it walking by.
I don't think they're banging at work.
No, they don't bang till they
No.
go to his
Sure.
apartment.
They're probably getting
But
Right,
that's the
yeah.
question, though. That's the question. Why not go to the bang apartment earlier?
Maybe she wasn't ready to go to the bang apartment.
I guess.
And then she was like, it's time.
Yeah.
But she didn't say it's time. She's like, what are we doing? Where are we? And he's
He's
like,
like,
this
he
is my...
And he asks, do you want to
Yeah.
go
Yeah,
inside?
he's a nice
That's
man
true.
with no conflict. But the cousin comes in, and
Nikki.
that's when the jig is up, right? It's
Oh,
like
right.
everybody
Yep.
knows so and so saw you sucking face wherever, but then she looks down at his crotch, right? And I think it's
Okay.
I think it's in the language of film we're to believe he's pitching the tent.
Okay. But what
I
does she
thought that
say?
at first too, but then it was like he was like too okay with it. He wasn't like, oh no, like he was just kind of
Beth.
like,
Exactly. He was too okay with it. He was too okay with everything that was thrown at him. Yeah, you can see my bone or whatever. Yeah. It's fine. Hey, my parents are automatons. I'm chill.
Yeah, his parents. Oof.
How did
Oh,
he?
God,
and
I-
how did he turn out that way?
I appreciated so much that she shows up for the family dinner, the first time she's going to meet the future in-laws, the mom, and she's wearing a lilac like pantsuit and
yeah.
a pearl choker, and brings a bundt cake. Like, it is just layers upon layers of like just super Protestant, like basic. It's really
Yeah,
sweet.
Harriet. She really
Bunt.
Bunt. That actor
Bunt.
really does a lot
Bunt.
with just
She does
facial
a lot with
expressions
it.
of being
Yeah,
like
man.
tense, but also like completely tamped down.
Yes.
Yeah. Dead to the
Yeah.
world.
Like the most frightened she's ever been, but also completely dead inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she was great.
I am not Greek,
Okay.
but both of my parents
It's okay.
are Irish Catholic. And
Okay.
so we have huge families.
Ah.
And my husband has a small family. They're not uptight like in this movie, but just the like size of the family going from that to like the like tiny like intimate dinner or whatever. It
Yes.
felt like that was so relatable. I'm like, I'm so sorry. My family is so big. It's like, oh, here's everyone. I love that they all have the same names. That
That
is
is
very
funny.
funny.
That was great.
Yeah.
That same was true for my husband's parents, don't dox me, where his mom is one of 9 and his dad is one of 4, but he was the youngest by far and the only one still living at home when they first started dating in high school. And so he had been over at her house, which was like just like a lot of people, like a lot of family. And she had come over to his house to have dinner with his parents for the first time and was like, had never heard people chew before. And it's just stone silent except for the scrape of the forks on plates. And like, they were not big chatters. And I was like, that is exactly like, I could picture the whole thing.
That's just so funny.
Oh,
Horrifying.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my wife's Don't Dox Me family is also pretty quiet, and it is very funny how like we both, whenever we have a gathering at one of their houses, like when we get in the car, we're both just like, oh, because we spent so much energy just like keeping the conversation going ourselves, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
So real.
Yeah.
I feel like that's one of the reasons why I am so quiet in like big social situations is because I just like I'm
You were
so used
trained
to having so
to-
many other people around
Yeah.
that I'm like, okay, I'll be the quiet one.
Amazing.
I loved the bits of culture shock in this movie. And there was
Yes.
the one where he was, they were explaining he doesn't eat meat. And
Yes.
the aunt has this great DVD line where she considers for a long time and that says, that's okay. I'll make lamb.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was so funny. It reminded me of when my sister was traveling in Egypt they kept asking her if she ate the big meat. And she was just like, she just wasn't sure if they meant like, do you eat a lot of meat or do you eat like cow, or maybe there's something bigger than cow?
Right.
And it just really took a long, long time. And finally she just said yes. And it turned out it was pork.
Oh.
They were asking her if she ate the pig meat.
Oh.
But she couldn't totally, you know what I mean? When you're
Yeah,
not like tuning in for the right stuff. Anyway, it was just pork.
Nice.
But it's a valid question.
It absolutely.
Yeah.
I loved any of the quick back and forths between a member of her family that had to do with food, where like he would say something and they'd be like, okay, and then essentially present the exact opposite. Where she's like, oh, Ian, do you want anything? He's like, oh, no, I already ate. She's like, okay, I'll fix you a plate.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is like every improv scene with Dan Jaquette.
Because I don't listen well. I'm a terrible
No,
person.
no, it's
God.
No,
very
that is
funny.
what she's saying. That is what she's saying. You're a
No, because Dan will just go, oh, yeah, I get you. And then do exactly the opposite. It's very funny.
nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Can we
Olive
Can we take
branch,
a-
olive Greek. Nice. Olive branch.
Nice.
accepted.
Good job.
I'd like to express my appreciation for Andrea Martin one more time, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's an amazing moment of just like, the haunted house of the family gathering that his waspy parents entered into. Like they already have to deal with like the full animals on the spits in the front yard and like the 18,000 people all named Nick. But then the way Aunt Vula introduces herself to them is she's just like, oh, hi, I'm the aunt. And then like sits down and without any prompting tells a story about how she had a lump on the back of her neck for her whole life. And they finally did surgery on it and they found teeth and a spinal column. She's like, yes, it was my twin. And then it's just like, then it's it. That's the story. And then she's like, oh, Uzo. I love it so much.
For those two characters, like that scene is like a mini drug movie. It's like Fear and
Yes.
Loathing in Las Vegas.
Yes,
for
it
them.
absolutely is. It
Or
absolutely
it's
is.
like We Can't Stop Here. It's Bad Country.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly. Like the
Greek
camera's
house.
tilted. Then
Yeah,
Gus
it
comes in
gets-
with a basket full of meat. It's just like, oh, you want the meat?
I've forgotten about that story. It is so good. As she
my
was doing
God.
it, I was like, oh, this has got to be somebody's monologue for auditions. But it was such a great moment too, because she cannot wait to sit them down and tell them the story. It has all that energy of like, you've told the same story to your family and friends a million times and you finally get a new audience.
Yes.
So it is
Yep.
the priority. You don't have
Absolutely.
to wait for it to come up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
like
God, it was
clocked.
so good.
She clocked where they sat down immediately, and just like shoved her way through the crowd in the
No,
house.
she pushed other people out of the seats. She was like, go, go.
Yeah.
Can I do a quick corrections department?
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Okay. In the first
Best
half,
corrections department.
Department.
We said something dumb and we feel really bad. Beth realized it early before we finished recording, so we're gonna talk about it now.
Not to be confused with Beth's Department of Corrections.
oh no,
Oh yeah, shut it down.
It's different.
Creeps.
creeps. Okay.
Creeps, just get up and go to the Department of Corrections. Sorry, go ahead.
In the first half, I believe someone had mentioned the name
Someone,
Mangel.
yeah, someone.
We
sure.
won't say who.
Who knows who it
and-
was?
That name was incorrectly attributed to a biologist who created the Punnett squares.
Yes.
That was Reginald Punnett invented the Punnett squares.
Yeah.
So Punnett squares are a tool used in genetics to figure out possible outcomes of a cross between two things or individuals, like using dominant and recessive genes.
I see.
And then Gregor Mendel was a scientist who's known as the father of modern genetics. And so he crossed pea plants to figure out like how inheritance of genes works.
Yeah.
Mengele was a Nazi and horrible.
Joseph Mengele, yes. As soon as I said it out loud, I was like, oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
was like, that doesn't seem like I got bad feelings when I heard that name, and I don't
Sure.
remember like hating doing that so much
Totally.
in biology.
Yeah,
the
right.
Punnett squares.
no, that's
I
fair.
got a bad feeling, but I was getting it confused with
Nelson
What
Mandela,
was
who you
that?
also hate.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Molly.
Whoa, what?
Well, she thinks he's dead
Do not.
or died in the 80s.
Oh, right.
Stop. I did not. This is a misquote. I'm sure
While
of
Beth
it.
was watching Kazam.
Yeah.
Which I have seen, but no one will believe me.
Okay.
Go ahead, Molly.
Yes,
Well,
Molly?
it's completely left my brain now,
All right.
so we'll never know.
Well,
Okay.
Best correction.
We say something dumb and then we do research. That's better.
so tell me.
Molly, you made a bet about a head versus neck. I wrote like almost no
Oh,
notes
yeah.
in the first half, but we might as well do some.
Sure.
And that's in there, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Good job.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's the
thank
head,
you.
but we're the neck. We'll tell him where to go.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah. She
where
rocked.
to
I
turn.
liked her mom a lot.
Yeah, her mom's
Oh,
great.
so good.
And her mom's got the softer touch of still like, you should go marry a Greek, but then is like, great moving monologue about like, we moved to this country. I gave you life so you could live.
So
And, like,
touching.
So go live your life. Marry Ian.
Yeah.
Ian Millar. Yeah, she's great.
She was great.
Great hair.
Great hair. I loved the visual of her just like working with what appeared to be a metric ton of potatoes that she'd already peeled.
So much.
So much food. And she and Andrea Martin together
Oh.
as the mom and aunt are so good.
So
And
good.
there's this wonderful scene where they're trying to they're trying to arrange something, and there's this great moment where Andrea Martin says, "Okay, tell me what to say, but don't tell me what to say." And they're like, "Perfect." And they totally understand each other.
Yeah.
And then she says this line, she's like, woe to me.
Yeah, great delivery of like being bad at acting.
good.
Of like, we're gonna look at
Yeah.
the-
When they're trying to
Yeah.
convince Gus that it's his idea that she go work for her aunt.
Yeah, that
And
Thula
there's-
goes to.
And there's that great moment where like Gus like says something and Andrew Martin's like, "Oh, that is a good idea," and then the mom's like, "No, it's not very good," and like stares daggers at her. I loved every moment Andrea Martin was on screen. She's a treasure.
Oh,
Agreed.
100.
Yep.
Was that really your only note?
It's
the
a good
two bits,
note.
Beth, remember were Nikki and Windex. We already kind of covered it.
Yep.
Oh, definitely past Bechtel Wallace
big
like a
time.
million
All over
times.
the map.
Of Greece.
Yeah.
In Gus's
Wow.
office.
We see them in the office. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got about half of Dan's guesses from his 60-second summary.
Oh, okay.
Because about the time that Molly yelled 20 is when I started taking notes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You bet that there would be lots of food,
Yeah.
rotating meats and olives.
Nice.
This is all too much, but I still love you. Cheek pinching, Will I Am, and yogurt.
Oh, Will I Am. I forgot.
That's right.
Forgot about that.
There was a band that they had to pick up.
Yep.
Oh, that band was so
It probably wasn't the Black Eyed Peas.
Probably not. Probably not. Although we don't know. Maybe it was the backing band.
Yeah.
possible.
You know? Like maybe right after that, it's like, all right, we got to go get it started. See you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh?
I remember that
Thank
song.
you. Yeah.
Oh, one of the details that I didn't catch until this viewing was when they pan across all of the gifts that she has. So it's the morning of her wedding.
Yes.
They pan across all the gifts that are in her childhood bedroom, and among them is a crib
Yep.
with a bow on it.
Yeah.
LOL.
I had never noticed. That is very funny.
That's very funny.
It's like, wow.
No
okay.
pressure.
Yeah.
No pressure.
I mean, that's a big gift, but not as big as her parents
Jesus
buying them
Christ.
the house next door.
Sight
That's a
unseen.
wild. That's a wild wedding gift, both in
That's
terms
insane.
of cost and presumption.
Concept. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insane.
But Ian's cool.
When that happened, my wife, no big deal, was just like, I don't like any of this. Like they don't even get to see the house. Yikes.
Yeah.
If somebody bought me a house, would I be excited about it, or would I be
No.
like, "Oh, now what is it?"
I'd be horrified because I'd be like, this is my responsibility now.
Yeah,
like
sometimes
even if I don't want it, it's still my responsibility.
I have to say, I'd be happier if somebody bought me a house than if they bought me a timeshare. If
Sure.
that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Because
That
you
goes
could
without
sell
saying.
a house. It's like a
Yes.
starter house.
Yes. But also you could just be like, here's like some amount of money for a down payment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's probably better. That's like I don't even really like it when people buy me like a shirt. 'Cause I'm like,
Yeah, I get it. It like
I guess they
creates
do
work
set it up in the.
if it's the wrong
Yeah.
shirt. Now you got to
Yeah,
deal
They
with
exactly.
set
that.
it up in the script, though. This is what we do. Parents give a gift.
Yeah.
So maybe that's more common than we realize.
Sure. But I mean,
I'll
it's also
Google it real
like,
quick.
it's also like, LOL, Gus is still trying as hard as he can to manipulate the situation for his own benefit.
Fair.
Yeah.
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 And, well, but also like I think it is trying to show growth for him because
Yes.
he's like, why are you going to leave? Like, why do you want to leave me? And then
Right.
he's like, here's a house. And then the joke is LOL. It's right
Right.
next door.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's like accepting it, but also like, now you don't have to leave me. Hooray.
And then, yeah, in the epilogue, she says that they move into the house and she got pregnant 1 minute later.
Hell yeah, dude. Listen,
It's like, whoa.
listen, there's a
That's
reason.
Very quick.
There's a reason the Greek civilization thrived for so long.
Yeah.
hmm
I mean, they do a lot of pre-wedding banging.
For sure.
Yeah.
Who's
True.
not to say she's
Speaking of pre-wedding banging, I have a quick question because they have a proposal post-coitus, presumably,
Oh.
and Ian appears to be nude. And my question is, where was he keeping the ring?
yeah.
I think you know where he was
Yeah.
keeping
Where did he pull that ring out?
Out of his
it.
beehole.
You know.
I'll think of it.
All right. Fair enough.
I appreciated Ian's body.
Okay. Okay. I'm
As,
listening.
maybe it's
You and Nikki.
2002, but he's like
Wow.
he's just a guy with a body. He's got like a little bit of a punch. They oil him up. He's not like weirdly jacked, dehydrated,
Right.
and hairless. And I
Right.
was just like,
For ostensibly a normal man.
yeah,
who's just a
he's
teacher. Yeah.
good-looking guy. It's fine.
Yeah.
We don't have to
Hey.
be Captain America.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah, Chris.
chill out, dude, but also
Fucking-
do whatever you want.
Yeah,
That's why he
Oh,
wears
I
those
like
big
that
sweaters in his later movies,
Oh,
so he
yeah,
can just let it
forget
let it
about it.
ride.
the sweater.
Mm.
Knives out. Something else out.
Okay.
All right, cousin Nikki, baby.
Here's the thing. Here's what I love about that proposal scene is it's not like a typical proposal, right?
Right.
He's like, I don't know how to say this. And he proposes, but he doesn't have a ring. And you think, oh, that's amazing. He's just caught up in the moment.
Right.
But like, will he? And then when he actually has the ring, you're like, oh, that second layer.
He's been
It's like the
holding
one
that in
saying-
there for weeks.
1-2 punch of you think it's just that he's going to run into the elderly lady, but then
Right.
she really goes at it with the bag.
Oh,
It was
hell
kind
yeah.
of like that, except romantic.
Yeah, the old lady beating the man half to death is the wedding ring and an anus of comedic beats.
Yeah, yeah,
I think is what we're all
that
saying.
tracks. We all agree about that.
Oh,
Like, the only critique
Listen,
is
we-
we don't see
Listen.
Aiden naked.
Exactly. Let's
Yeah.
see that flaccid dong.
Yeah.
no.
Ring
We
tuck.
know it's flaccid. It's post. He's in the recovery phase.
We don't know his
Yeah,
life.
we don't know.
That's true.
Maybe he's ready.
That's true. Yeah, maybe.
Well, before we get to the our final reviews of the movie we just watched, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, we like to turn to the aforementioned Discord text-based chat platform and engage with our fans via obtaining questions and comments, Q's and C's.
Patreon.com/TotesRecall to get access to the Discord.
.com. We got a couple more other than Andrew's question about the Windex of our families. Carzon asks, how many ailments have you cured with Windex?
Mm.
Never
Is
tried.
Is one of the ailments a dirty window?
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
I will say vinegar and water works just as well, and you can make it at home.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I've just started using the Nancy Birtwhistle recommended mixture to just use as a surface cleaner and also works
Yeah.
on Windows.
An old newspaper is good to leave it kind of streak-free.
I hear
Interesting.
that.
Learn that.
Why
If
is
you
that?
can get your hands on
Yeah,
one,
right.
Am I
These
right?
days?
Print media is dead.
Have to wait for that trash trash newsletter to arrive.
Yeah.
The what?
Star Tribune just throws trash on your yard,
Yeah.
and it smells real weird.
Yeah,
Local
whatever
reference.
the local paper is, yeah. Well, I promised a Windex story in the first half. And so I'm here to deliver. I don't know if I've already told this on pod or not, so I guess stop me if I have. It's about the first time I took my child camping.
Okay.
No one's stopping me. He
I
was.
just remember his shoulder dislocating. Is that a different
Yeah.
story?
It's
Oh no, it's his elbow.
It's that story.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I'll,
Okay.
I'll try and lead into the Windex of it though. We didn't spray anyway. Anyway, we're getting ahead of myself. Yeah, he was probably 2-ish, quite young, but walking around. We rented a cabin at Afton State Park, local reference, pretty close to the Twin Cities, and it's nature. And we basically, like, so many things went wrong. We showed up and unpacked the playpen that he was going to sleep in. Turned out our cats had peed on it while it was like waiting to be packed into the car. And the only thing available to us to clean was a bottle of Windex in the cabin that they give you to like clean up, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
And so we tried that, but spraying a ammonia-based cleaner on ammonia-based cat pee does nothing.
Right. Yikes.
Yeah. So he had to sleep in bed with my wife. No big deal. Don't dox me. And just kicked her all night while I snored, and no one slept well. In the morning, we discovered the lighter I had packed was out of fuel. So we couldn't.
No.
I had to like borrow one. We also forgot the kettle that we were going to plug in to make coffee with.
Oh no.
A nice dad did bring us coffee after I told him about it because he was there camping. He also had like a newborn and was just there by himself, and he brought us coffee.
Oh.
What a hero. Yes. Then later we dislocated my son's elbow coming back. And I didn't have the Windex at the time. I probably could have just sprayed it on his elbow.
Yeah, they would have just like slorked back together like Wolverine.
Yeah. But
How did you say how you dislocated?
swinging him from his arms, like you do for fun with a kid. Like each parent
Yeah.
grabs a hand and you kind of pick him up and swing him. But turns out,
Yeah.
I still think about the way you tested to make sure he was really
I
hurt.
tried to give him a cookie.
Yeah.
What?
Because you saw him Dan saw him holding his arm, and they were like, oh, it's hard to tell with like that age because they're not
Yeah.
really talking
Yeah.
a lot.
Right.
I tried to give him a cookie and he wouldn't take it. And that was, we were like, we need to
Things are real.
drive to the ER. Also, I need to check out of this cabin, which I probably didn't need to like be out then, but it was time to check out and I was nervous about that. So I dropped them off at the ER. My wife left her phone in the car accidentally. I drove back, threw everything back in the car, drove back to the ER, couldn't get in contact with them, but she had left a note at the ER counter and they're like, oh yeah, they're at Chipotle.
Nice.
And I walked in, everything's totally fine. Turns out it's super
Incredible.
easy to relocate an elbow and it immediately ends the pain.
Nice.
Oh,
At least,
that's
especially if
good.
you're like a rubber band of a
Yeah.
young human,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, right.
So hot tip, here's our medical corner continued. Hot
Oh,
tip
yeah.
for relocating your child's elbow. You kind of sit them in front of you, hold their arm in kind of a right angle against their body so that their hand is sticking out the front, and then take their hand and rotate it outward while holding onto the elbow, and it just pops the elbow back in place and you can feel it slip back in. He's dislocated his elbow 3 times now.
Jesus.
it's
Wow.
been, apparently it's easier to do once you've done it once.
Yeah.
It's been a few
Sure.
years
It's going to be a party trick for him
been a while.
someday.
Hell yeah.
Since it's
Nice.
happened.
Been a while.
That's probably what Houdini did.
Yep.
Probably. His parents just stretched him out so much when he was a
Yeah.
kid.
Anyway, that's my Windex story.
That reminds me that I
Wow.
also promised us something at the second half, which was that I've seen another Nia Vardalos movie and it's terrible.
Oh,
Oh, that's
She
too bad.
wrote and directed it. It also stars John Corbett as the love interest, and it
Oh.
just felt very
is it My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2?
no.
Oh.
It was another movie. It's called I Hate Valentine's Day. It is a very, I don't know, it's like an attempt at a rom-com. It fails at almost every turn, and you can tell that maybe it was the first movie she directed herself, because I feel like every scene she's in, her eyes are like off at an angle because she's probably looking at the monitor. and it's very distracting.
Aw.
Oh,
But
that's
I mean,
bad.
even beyond that, it's just the plot is ridiculous. She's like, here, let me read the synopsis for you. It already sounds absurd. A florist who abides by a strict 5-date limit with any man finds herself wanting more with the new restaurateur in town. Her whole thing is that like she like knows exactly how to like get other people to give gifts to their loved ones, but she's just like doesn't have time for love because she's a busy businesswoman.
This sounds
And then
very
she's like,
rom-com.
Yeah, and then she's like down to flock with John Corbett, but like can't get his attention. And she's like, I don't know, it's ridiculous. Then literally like it feels, even the end feels by the numbers in like even the line delivery, because John Corbett is like talking to her through a window or something, and she's like, "Why are you here?" And he's just like, "Because I love you," or something. Like it's just very just like just kind of thrown out there, like, "It's because I love you." It's horrible.
Well, still good for her. Get it.
No,
Yeah.
Paid.
absolutely. Get that bank. I'm thrilled that she has had such a successful career after this very surprising, like, not rags to riches, but just like decent theater reviews to riches story.
Yeah.
Well,
she was
and I
40
didn't
when she
realize
did
it.
this.
But, oh wow!
Wow.
Her the
Playing
director
30.
was a
Playing 30,
director
yeah.
of a lot of sitcoms.
Oh,
So you kind of feel that a little bit in hindsight. I'm like, oh yeah, there is a lot of like physical, broader kind of comedy in there.
Totally.
So anyway,
yeah. And
imagine
also,
if
it's-
Christopher Norton. No, no.
Christopher Norton.
What?
Yeah, Nolan.
Norton antivirus?
Yeah, Christopher Norton antivirus. Norton antivirus
Nice.
is going to direct a movie soon. If they
Absolutely.
haven't already.
Whoa.
All right, last cue from the D. Discord. D.
What? Oh,
okay.
Oh wow.
I get it.
Yeah, thank you. Ed Lids asks, are you Team Aiden or Team Big, and why is the correct
Whoa.
answer Aiden?
Mm.
Wow. I don't have
Molly.
an opinion, but I guess Aiden?
I should go ahead and cop to the fact that I have had a crush on every character John Corbett has ever
Oh,
played.
wow.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Aiden, I did like, but
You
in
said he was
hindsight,
shitty to her, though.
he was like low key shitty, whereas Mr. Big was like in your face shitty.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he was the better of the two, but he was kind of a low key person who was dropping negs
Mm.
like in like relationship speak. So it was
Yeah.
more confusing. But Mr. Big is truly awful, and I never understood her attraction to him.
Isn't it
I-
his
And there is a scene
penis?
where Aiden has gotten away from her and he shows up wearing like a baby and a baby carrier. And I was like, wow. What did you ask?
I asked, isn't it his
Was
penis?
it his penis?
Isn't that why he's Mr. Big? Because he has a big penis? I haven't seen the show.
He just the way he just went penis.
Wow.
I
Great
don't
question,
remember.
Dan.
But that seems not exactly right? But she doesn't give him that name.
Wasn't
Her
he like
friends
big
do.
time? He's Mr. Big Time because he's like a big rich
Oh.
dude or something.
Oh,
I don't
is
know.
that-
I haven't
Yeah,
seen the show
maybe.
either. Here's the thing. I
Maybe
haven't
it's
seen the
multiple
show.
meaning.
I have not seen the show, but my wife, no big deal, and I think my sister have all said that Aiden was better than Mr. Big. I did watch Sex and the City, the movie, with my wife, no big deal, and I remember half of that movie is Mr. Big being shitty, but
Yeah.
then he like buys her a shoe closet or something, and it's fine. I don't remember. Those movies are not great.
So confusing.
So I guess I'm Team Aiden.
Okay.
They do, spoiler alert, they do get back together.
Who?
Or he comes,
Casey
the
and
character Aiden, Carrie,
Clinton and
And-
Nate?
yes, get back together. I think they do in Sex and the City's sequel, which is.
They go to Dubai?
Sexier
I'll tell you this
in
about
the
that.
city.
Sexier in the
No,
cities.
it's, let me tell you this about that. No, it's
And just
and
like
just
that,
like that.
we're back. Baby.
well, just like that. Yeah,
Oh,
and
the show.
and he's reformed. He's a much better
Okay.
character, but I haven't watched it because I couldn't get through it, any of it,
But you know he's reformed and a better character?
because I read.
Oh,
Damn. Shots fired.
wow.
It's the
damn
same article that I
illiterate
mentioned
and-
earlier. I've just read the one, but I'm an expert.
Nice.
I see.
So I guess we're all Team Aiden, maybe?
Yeah.
I
I
think
I've never seen any of Sex and the City, so
Just
I don't
pick
know.
one. Just
I don't
pick one,
know.
Beth.
Yeah, Aiden all the way.
Nice.
sold it.
Yeah. That actor reminded me of Paul Rudd, which no one agreed with. Oh, Molly agrees.
I did, but I wasn't fast enough to type it.
Finally.
But no, he also has an
in our
ageless,
time.
some piece in our time.
Yeah, he's just got like
I'm sorry
like
I yelled at you,
charismatic
Dan.
smirk. It's fine. The fans love it.
Okay.
I can take it.
The fans love it. The fans love it.
Fans are clamoring for.
Speaking of things
Feuds.
fans are clamoring for, when Molly pointed out to us that his best friend, the actor, is married to Nia Vardalos, she then mentioned that they did get divorced later, and she was thrilled.
Yeah. She
The
liked her own
number-
text and then removed it and then liked it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just so we get two
Then she sent it.
notifications.
Then she sent it with lasers. And yeah. Wow.
Great. Our review, as we all remember, is Windex moments, which are Windex products placement moments featured in TV or film. I don't think.
Hallmark.
Hallmark.
Okay, the Hallmark.
Specifically Hallmark
Okay,
movies.
okay. Hallmark movies.
Pay
Does this mean
attention, Dan.
Like a trademark next to it.
Windex TM
Like
moment?
it's
is
got
it like
Windex moment
Windex Moments TM?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
It just seems right.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, legally,
Anyway.
there should probably be a TM after Windex, and then
Windex
that's-
TM Moments TM.
I think it's Windex TM moments are.
Oh, it's a registered trademark.
Nice.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay.
We're lawyers. We know that that's right.
Yeah.
We're
Doctors
doctors
and
and
lawyers.
lawyers.
Yep. Doctor lawyers, lady lawyers.
That's right. That's right. Call back.
What was
Listen, to that's a different rating scale. Who knows when? Great TV show we pitched that turned into Dr.
Hell
Quick
yeah.
Medicine Woman, if I remember right, was noted to
Correct. Yep.
Dr. Lady Lawyer later. Lady.
Dr. Lawyer?
Anyway, listen to that episode. Whatever the fuck it is.
Yep.
Dan, you gave it 3. You thought it would maybe be too much of its moment, so it could be a snooze fest.
Yes. I don't think it was a snooze fest. I found some of the characters quite delightful throughout, especially Andrea Martin, as I've mentioned countless times. I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny considering what it was, because it's not like, it's not trying to be like a laughs a minute comedy, but it's also not trying to be like a serious treatise on the immigrant family experience in America. And I felt like it rode that balance pleasantly. I don't know. I was a little bored by the end because I was just like, just get married already. So I'm going to say 4 Windex moments. Number 1.
Thank you.
I'm returning to my hometown from my high-paying, busy New York job. I run into a moose because I can't see on my window correctly. A handsome man comes out of his candy shop and is just like, oh boy, you got to clean your windshield, and then has a bottle of Windex handy and wipes it, and I notice his incredibly toned forearms from stretching that taffy. That's 1. I got to speed these up. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you do.
Oh my god.
Windex moment number 2. We smooch next to a Windex display in a department store. Windex moment number 3. Where there's a Halloween scene, and a child comes up to the door, and I go, "Who are you going as?" And they say, "I'm a bottle of Windex." And then I say, "Oh, that's so cute." And then it says something offensive because LOL, like "Shut up, bitch" or whatever, and it's like a 6-year-old.
Hallmark?
What?
This is a Hallmark movie?
Yeah. Okay. Windex moment number 4. La Lohan does a Windex commercial on the TV. It's like diegetic. It's just like in the background.
Sure. I love it.
Great.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Beth, those are great. Beth, you gave it 4. You liked it at the time, but were worried it would not hold up.
Yeah, I thought that I really loved it. I thought it was super funny. Like for a rom-com, it was really making me laugh out loud. even.
Wow.
Oh, well.
So I guess 0 Windex moments. No.
Right.
I think I'd give it a 4.5.
Okay.
So the first moment is I'm spraying a dirty window at the shop that I work at, and a man walks by, and as I'm cleaning the window, I can see him through the window.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, and then the second moment is I am carrying a bunch of boxes to my new apartment that I'm moving into because I just lost my job and now I have to move to a new place.
Oh no.
And I drop my cleaning supplies and the guy who lives next door hands me the Windex bottle. They're all Windex bottle related. Okay, the third one is
Yeah.
the third one is I mix up my new Cosmo drink that's blue with a Windex bottle, and I need to be brought to the hospital, and the doctor's super hot.
Oh, nice.
The fourth one is just a Windex commercial that's like kind of cool, and then
like during the broadcast of the movie, on TV, yeah, nice, okay.
Yeah, and then the half one is like a half bottle of Windex that falls in love with another bottle of Windex.
Oh, that's great. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
Great Windex moment.
Yeah. Sorry, I wrote DL twice instead of DJ.
Whoa.
Wow.
But it is
Twice
my
is
turn.
nice.
I have third. I have Dan. I gave this 3. I had no nostalgia towards it. I didn't know how it was going to hold up. That's still true. But I liked it. I'm glad this movie exists. It feels different than a lot of movies in the same genre, and so I'm happy about that. It didn't do a lot for me, and even though it was 95 minutes, it felt long. Like even as the wedding was starting, I was like, "Oh damn, we got to get through the whole wedding, and there's probably like something after that too. This is taking forever." And I looked at the time, and I was like, 95 minutes. God, I thought it was like 2:12 or something.
Wow.
So that was too bad for me. But I'm still going to go up to 4. Good job, movie.
Nice.
They are Hallmark rebranded the movie The Fugitive and took off all the edges. And the scene where the panhandler tries to wash evil doctor's car, he's got a name brand bottle of Windex.
Nice.
The next one is I'm, fumbling for my keys to get into my New York apartment, and I have a bag of groceries, and instead of a baguette sticking on the top, it's a bottle of Windex.
Nice.
Then the next one is we're out on the street now. It's still New York. Someone is screaming out the window because someone else cheated on them. They're throwing all their clothes out, including a big bottle of Windex, which splashes in front of me and my love interest, and they get Windex on their ankles. And I reach down to wipe it off.
Oh.
And it's intimate. And the fourth one, of course, is a race car based movie. And the car is sponsored by Windex, says Windex in big letters on the top of the car.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That's great. Great job.
Molly, you are last but not least. Despite our tension, we're still friends. And you were going to give yourself some grace and be Beal Bowl, Big Man, Baklava, Baggins.
Wow.
And give it a 5.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. And we are still friends. Thank you. Yep. And so sorry. So sorry I yelled at you.
Beth, did you notice that she didn't say if we're still friends?
Yeah.
I mean, I did.
Intentional.
Yikes.
Oh, okay. So all of my 4.5, I had a similar feeling. Like I was so nostalgic for this movie, and in some ways it was just exceeded my expectations, and in other ways it fell a little flatter than I remember. So I think 4.5 is pretty fair. All of my Windex moments take place in the same movie.
Okay.
It starts out in New York. So wild. It's a bit, well, they don't specify. It's a big city. And I'm a mess because I don't know how to love. And I've gotten over drunk and fallen asleep. And when I wake up, I see that my mom has come over and she's spraying Windex on the bottom side. Oh, maybe it's my roommate is spraying Windex on the bottom side of the coffee table that I've passed out on top of because it's made of glass. And then I go back home to my Christmas tree farm that my family's owned for generations. And while on the flight, I sit next to the worst seatmate in the world. But one of the things is that they spray down absolutely everything, including the window, with Windex. And then I make it to the Christmas tree farm, and my parents have a little black cat named Mistletoe with just like a little dot of white on its chin. And the only reason they know it has a white dot on its chin is because when it first came to them homeless, they wiped it down with Windex and revealed the one white spot. And then I fall in love with a handsome lumberjack who works at my family's farm. We've known each other since we were kids, but he has grown up in the last 2 decades since I've been away. And he's the one who actually found Mistletoe. But I have a mild cross-country skiing accident and am trapped in a very romantic shed that just has like a fireplace and like some bear skins and wine. And I can't get out, but he can't get to me. And we've noticed each other. So he doesn't have any snowshoes available, so he just straps 2 Windex bottles, one to each foot, and is able to make his way through the snow and the Christmas trees to find me. And are we at? That's at least 4, right?
Oh yeah.
And 4.
Then as he arrives, he leans over. He's about to give me a deep, passionate kiss, and then he just sprays some Windex on my broken ankle. Wipes it down and then gives me a kiss and proposes and has a ring that he's carried with him in his butt.
Yeah. Nice.
The end.
So what we've established is that the rule of Hallmark movies is that wiping down ankles is very intimate.
Yeah.
We've had 2 movies that include
Ankles
that
are
scene.
the most intimate.
That's right.
I'm so sorry. It's
Grau,
very hard
grau.
to come up with 4.5.
I think you nailed it.
Like, one might say too many moments.
I think collectively we've just written the greatest Hallmark movie ever made.
Yeah.
Like if we put all these together,
Hey, Windex, Hallmark, get
Call us.
at us.
Yeah.
Get on this.
Yeah.
Listen, this is what we can do with no thinking.
yeah,
Just imagine what we could come up with.
with actual
should do
time and
that.
effort.
And money.
We should. I will
Hell yeah,
challenge
money.
any AI machine.
Okay.
Totes recall humans versus an AI robot for writing an incredible rom-com.
I love it.
But it has to be judged by other humans.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
fair.
It's not fair if an AI just.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
we'll wipe the floor with those assholes.
Yeah.
That's what the A is for.
Oh.
Anyway,
Asshole
Yeah.
intelligence.
Asshole intelligence. Haha, you busted, AI.
Yeah.
Notice how Beth is remaining silent because she is concerned for her safety.
praying.
Yeah.
She's just praying the podcast is over.
I don't know why everyone speaks so ill of the robots.
Whatever.
You are the best human producer we've ever known, Beth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, a robot leadership would be fools to throw you away with the skills you have.
Yeah.
I'm just
Definitely
saying.
shouldn't be replaced by a goose.
Certainly not. With a smoking problem.
Yeah.
Check out that episode.
The
Yeah, figure it
Figure it out.
You got to listen to all the other episodes.
Use AI to
Eventually
figure
you'll
out which
find the
episode
one.
has a goose in it.
Can you do that? Can you give AI audio? Probably.
Oh, probably.
so.
Yeah.
I mean-
because isn't that how they like make people's
That's how-
dead voices come back, and it's terrifying?
Oh, yeah.
Ugh.
Like Jimmy
Oh,
Stewart's sleep stories, and
What?
What?
Oh, is that
No.
yeah,
That's
I
not
have the
real.
Calm app, no big deal. And there is a sleep story that has been narrated. I put that in air quotes by Mr. James Stewart, beloved actor, and I didn't even click on it because I'm horrified.
That shouldn't be legal.
No,
that
it
seems
shouldn't.
not right.
Yikes.
Yikes.
It's not an impersonator. The AI.
I'm
does the
pretty
voice.
sure. Google it. You do the work, listener. That's the theme of this closing segment.
Yeah. They also did that
Wow.
I think they did that in a good way for Roger Ebert. He had like throat cancer or something and
did.
couldn't
Yes.
talk anymore. But there was so much audio of him
Yes.
that they were able to create
build a
a
model.
speaking machine that was his voice.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
he was
Very
like,
cool.
these are the words I want said with my voice. He wasn't
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. It's better.
Oh no, he had control over it, but they used his actual voice to be the voice that said the words that he
Yeah.
selected. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
He was
Yeah.
alive at the
Do
time.
you think that it's possible that Jimmy Stewart, before he passed, was like, hey, just so you know, if this technology ever exists, I would love to do a sleep story for the Calm app.
Maybe.
He
Or
definitely
maybe these are
said
his
that.
cherished recordings that he recorded for his children.
For Zuzu.
For Zuzu. Oh, it's
Oh.
time to go to sleep now, Zuzu.
No, Zuzu, if I ever shed off this mortal coil before you're able to fall asleep on your own, just know that we've got a thinking machine over here that's gonna. It'll sound exactly like me, sweetie,
Yeah,
but
it's just sucking up my voice from all my films, and it'll shoot it right into your ear holes. Now go to sleep, honey. Robots are your friends.
go to sleep while this robot shoots my sucked out voice into your ear holes.
By the way, Windex is a great product.
Another
I'm
Windex
like Bill
moment.
Clinton. Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say you're veering
Oh.
somewhere.
I did not use vinegar spray on that window.
Wow. Oh my God. What are you, a stand-up in 1998? Like, Jesus Christ. We will use Windex to clean all our windows, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. Awful.
I'm not a dirty window haver. I never done I'm trying to do Nixon.
You're doing it.
I thought Molly was going to do a Bane.
Well,
Try to do Bane.
yeah, do it.
I'm not from the 60s.
What the?
I love Windex.
What was that last part?
I love that Bane also sounded like Darth Vader.
Yeah, and like had like a gear turning in his mouth or something. Well, Nancy, I think we should siphon all federal funding to the poor to the Windex Corporation, and then I'm going to slowly dismantle every government program that does anything good in this country, and die years later, too full of Alzheimer's to remember my own hideous legacy.
Oh, no.
Fuck Ronald Reagan. More flaccid dogs in movies than fuck Ronald Reagan. That's the position of this podcast.
Brought
I don't
to you
care if it was
by
a bad
Windex.
impression.
I feel like our movie deal just slipped from our
Yeah. Lost that quadrant.
Well,
Well,
well.
podcast over.
Podcast over.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.